Hi everyone, Brandon Doyle here,
Jerry Dearden.
back with Last Week in Ecom, our new show recapping all the latest in e-commerce, marketing, advertising, D2C, etc. So let's get to it. First of all, a new stat came out saying that adults spend 7.5 hours a day online consuming content. Obviously, that includes like Netflix and YouTube, but also social media. Kind of a scary thought. I mean, that's a full-time job with a
Yeah,
lunch break, basically. But
it is scary. Have you ever, do you track your screen time? Like Apple does a good job of it now where I get a screen time report every week, but it's really easy to find it as well. You just like go to settings, I think battery life, or you could probably
I
even
don't.
just search screen
I
time.
purposely don't look at it, and I justify it saying it's part of my job. So that's probably not good though. But seven
Same.
and a half hours, that's pretty crazy. But what that means is if you are doing marketing online and ads and anything like that, social content, your stuff needs to be super, super good and unique and buttoned up in order to stand out. Because after 7.5 hours, I mean, even after every now and then I'll go on TikTok and get lost for like 40 minutes, and sometimes it's late at night. And then TikTok, have you ever got one of those where it's like, they like warn me to like stop scrolling? Have you ever got one?
I did back when TikTok first launched. I haven't gotten one in a while, so I don't know if they stopped caring about
Yeah.
mental health and are
Yeah,
like,
I don't know
hey, let's
either.
make some profits. Let's stop
Yeah.
warning the people. But
I did get a few of those. Yeah, none lately, so maybe that's good. But
I do get it from Apple because I have set screen
oh
limits on my thing. It'll be like, hey, you have 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
But every time I hit ignore,
yeah,
because
you gotta
I'm
ignore
working.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
working.
we're working. But if you're doing that, like you're in a zone, you just kind of become basically like a drone or an NPC. So if you're doing an ad as a company, you got to wake that person up out of their, endless scrolling stupor in order to get them to click. So
I think that's maybe
yeah,
why the ugly ads that we talked about last
yeah,
time also is like a good way to stand out because everyone's making the polished stuff,
yeah,
maybe even some of the native stuff. So now some of that doesn't even stand out.
yeah,
But if you make an ugly ad, someone's scrolling and they're like, "What is this weird
yeah,
thing?"
yeah.
Might just catch their attention.
Or
So,
scare. We should. I mean, Halloween's coming up. We should do more scary ads for our clients, like yelling, like yelling at the, person on the phone right when they get it. That'd be, I don't know, could be worth testing. It's always good to test new creative. Okay, next thing. So creator-led brands that continues to be more and more of a thing. Same with celebrities, and there's just been a lot happening lately in the creator-led space and the celebrity-led space. There are big things happening, like Logan Paul and his Prime. It's a new drink company. Last year was their first year. They did 250 million in revenue. They're at like a billion plus valuation. They're continuing to grow, but over and over, these creator-led brands or celebrity-led brands, but you don't just have to be a celebrity. You just have to have an audience. They just keep growing and scaling and coming out with new products and all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting trend that I think everyone should keep an eye on, and potentially depending on your niche and your product and your brand, trying to think about how can you get more or bigger creators to be, on board with your brand or do collaborations with them, because obviously these creators and celebrities, in the new age celebrities, they just have such massive audiences and basically free distribution and already have earned trust from their audience that it can become a massive lever and very impactful for your company. Any thoughts on that?
yeah, I think that what you said is super interesting with going for calling them creators, because I think that with influencer marketing there was a move away from like what we would call like a macro influencer, because it seemed like it just wasn't worth the money you would pay them to do it. But I think that's because a lot of them were just like influencers. They weren't really content creators. But now like a Logan Paul or Mr. Beast or these people that are launching brands, they're not just like an influencer. They're actually really good at creating content.
Yeah.
So I think that that's important too, is you're like vetting influencers or vetting creators is like, do they actually make good content, or are they just kind of a pretty face or whatever? Like,
Yeah.
obviously the Kardashians have been wildly successful, but I feel like I've heard some horror stories too where people pay them to do a crazy post or someone that's similar to them, and it's just kind of a waste of money. So
That's true. But when they especially like do organic posts, I saw a couple weeks ago, I think it was Kim, I'm pretty sure it was Kim Kardashian, posted about Vacation, the like sunscreen brand. She posted that she used one of their stuff on an Instagram story of hers, and they sold out like crazy. The founder of Vacation, Marty, shouted it out. But
do you think they paid for it, or do you think she just liked it?
No, it didn't look like it, to be honest. Yeah. So, that organic side can and is still massive.
Really quick, do you think Logan Paul or Dylan Danis is going to win the fight? Do you even know about that?
I do know about that. I would say Logan, partially because of some insane video I saw Dylan post the other day that I would assume made Logan very mad. We don't need to elaborate on that video. But
he definitely has more motivation, even though Dylan has more fighting experience. But
yeah.
Anyways, back to the Ecom.
Yeah. So, if your brand isn't creator led or celebrity led, thinking about that as well, especially in regards to the first little story we talked about, the 7.5 hours a day of content. In ads, it's more crucial than ever that the messaging of your ad and the offer of the ad that you're trying to push, whatever product or bundle or whatever it is, that has to be so dialed in right now, especially going into Q4, in order to stand out, because the competition is more fierce than ever in regards to just pure creativity, quantity, ad costs, all that kind of stuff. And I was talking with a pretty good sized D2C brand on the phone yesterday, actually, and they're spending like 50 grand a day in ads, and their brand has awesome products in a diehard community, and so this is related. They're not using any landing pages of any kind. They just have their they have a home page, they have a collection page, and they have their product page. Nothing else. No bundles, no unique offers, no landing pages that they're testing of any kind. And especially at that level of spend, it kind of blew my mind, and I told them that. So I think that's another thing that you need to make sure is dialed in leading up to Q4 is what is your landing page strategy, and how can you test good landing pages to see if you can get your conversion rates up from whatever, 1.5% to 2% to 2.5%, because obviously that's a massive increase in revenue. So just a side point there. Next is Brock, the founder of Frost Buddy, a pretty large D2C brand that got to 30 million in revenue after just 2 years. He tweeted the other day that he recently started doing an affiliate program. I don't think he said where it was, so it might have been on TikTok, or it might have just been, through like email referring customer type program. Anyway, he has 20 affiliates, and he's doing about $2,000 a day in revenue just from the 20 affiliates. And I was talking with a different D2C brand in the shaving grooming space, and their affiliate program is growing like crazy too right now. And I think it's probably at least partly because content creators are getting so good at just creating content, and they know what it takes to make viral videos, that if you can build out a good affiliate program that incentivizes them enough, they'll be, your ambassadors on social, and every now and then one of those videos is going to pop off and be huge for you. So I think that's something that D2C brands need to do a lot more of.
I think this might have even been solely on TikTok shops, but I could be wrong.
It might have been, yeah.
You can correct us, if we're incorrect on that, but I do think that one of the topics we'll talk about later is how influencer marketing is growing, or at least what brands are spending on it. And I think that a lot of that is with like the emergence of TikTok and even YouTube. I think that people that want to actually be influencers have to be really good creators, and the people that make a lot of money create the best content. And you can't really do an affiliate post on TikTok without knowing how to make a TikTok. And I haven't bought anything from TikTok shops, but I do like that it's just one click, pops up, and you can just kind of buy it right in there. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be like a game changer for both brands as well as creators on the platform, even though it's like super early.
Yeah, I agree. I actually bought for the first time over the last few days 2 things from TikTok shops.
Oh, really?
One is for my home gym here. It's like this push-up thing. Have you seen that one with the different colors?
With all the, oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I bought that one.
Okay. It's kind of basic.
Not that I need it, but I don't know. I just thought
It's cool.
it could be good, and might be fun just for like little like friendly competitions or something. The other thing I bought, I don't remember what the other thing was, but I did buy 2 different things. I know that, but it was super fast. Also, for any company who's doing stuff on TikTok, they did just announce that they are killing outside links to e-commerce stores. So you have to, going forward in the near future, sell through TikTok Shop and not on your own
Is
site.
it just e-commerce stores or is
That's
it
what they said.
Amazon?
They said just e-commerce. E-commerce sites is what they said for now. So we'll see. But I thought that was pretty big, actually.
Yeah. I had the perfect push-up growing up. I don't know if you remember that. It was like the things and they twist.
Yeah.
And like speaking of like messaging and offers, they got me, right? Because they had this like super jacked guy.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be like a Navy SEAL, like train like these guys do? And anyways, 9th grade me thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I guess they got you as
got me.
whatever,
They
30-something-year-old.
Yeah, well, I saw a few different creators that were affiliates for this thing, and the different creators were doing different types of videos for it. But one of them had sort of a mini series where he would go to a gym and find basically the biggest guy there and challenge him to a push-up contest, doing 10 on each form.
Oh, cool.
And if the guy that he challenged won, he would win a certain amount of money. But anyway, I bought through someone's affiliate link, just not even on purpose, just because that's what finally pushed me over the edge. Yet again, the power of good affiliates and good content. So yeah, super interesting. Next thing is just a random little note. In Performance Max in Google, there's now a generative AI option that does creative for you, like will make creative assets for you. So that's a new feature. I think it's in beta, but something to keep an eye on. And lastly, just some data sort of numbers. One, like you were saying, influencer marketing spend is up 14% to $5 billion this year. That's a lot. Number 2, global ad spend is going to hit $1 trillion next year. So $1 trillion just in ad spend. And then number 3, related for the e-commerce marketing folks, Klaviyo's IPO is imminent, so they had to file all their numbers. And not surprisingly, partially because Shopify is the biggest shareholder of Klaviyo, they pay a lot of money to Shopify for that sort of integration. But also, one number that I thought was interesting, only 14% of Klaviyo's customers, aka brands and agencies, use their SMS service. Obviously, their SMS service is newer, and a lot of other people use PostScript or whatever. But I just thought that was surprisingly low. So anyway.
Do you think it's because a lot of the Klaviyo users aren't even doing SMS, or do you think they do it through PostScript, through Attentive, through like other platforms?
I'm sure it's a bit of both. It's surprising though how there are still a lot of brands that don't do SMS, and especially a lot that don't do it well. I think SMS strategy should be a decent amount different than your email strategy. Email, I think, is fine to be more like buttoned up and formal and whatever, but to me, SMS should feel a lot more like a conversation. And almost, if it was me, what I'd recommend is your SMS strategy is as if it's coming from a human, like your brand has a human avatar, and that is who is doing the talking to your customers. That's what I think works the best.
Yeah, I actually bought something from SMS last week from The Feed, who they do like supplements for like endurance athletes. I'm getting there. I'll be an endurance athlete, But anyways, I think that for me, I only buy or sign up for SMS lists of brands that I'm like a huge loyalist of or a fan of. And it is nice when they do a drop, because this product specifically, it's called Fresh. It's kind of like Last Crumb where they just do drops. And for me, it's nice because I only check my email, like my personal email, maybe once or twice a day. But as soon as I get a text, I'm looking at it. And so if you're doing like product drops, I think it's super effective to get in touch immediately with the customer.
Yeah. Awesome. Nothing else for today. This episode brought to you by Fourth Pickleball. Not really a sponsor, but if you want pickleball stuff, go check out their site. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.